I'm Jason Stamm, publisher of the VTZone.com, and welcome to another edition of the VTZone.com Scoutcast. Joining us again, fresh out of the Caribbean, Mr. Doug Bowman. Doug, how was your cruise, man?
It was nice. A lot of sun, a lot of time in Mexico and the Grand Cayman Islands, which is never a bad thing. So, I can't complain, but I'd rather be there than Richmond.
Yeah, I can't blame you. I mean, it's been a few years since I've been on a cruise, but I definitely enjoyed it. And Derrick Skip Hopkins, you and I feel like we kind of got through last week, but it's good to have Doug back with us.
Yeah, I think we did pretty good, but, good old Doug, man. Glad to have him back.
Doug, did you find love in the Caribbean? I don't think I asked you that part.
I did not. Came home still searching.
Come on, I'd be a nice Caribbean lady.
No.
Well, I guess say la vie for that one, but I guess there's always next time. So I guess none of them were hanging out in the casino.
No. I'll just say no.
Well, Doug, I'm going to put you right back into it. I'm sure you saw on Wednesday night, Virginia Tech did get another addition for the basketball side in junior college transfer Seth Leday, Zach Leday's brother. He'll be joining the Hokies. Of course, he's going to have to sit out, at least that's according to Zach Leday's tweet. It sounds like some of the credits maybe didn't transfer over or something like that. So that's kind of unfortunate that they won't be able to play together this season. At least that's how it looks, according to that tweet as of now. But I guess, Doug, what do you think of that addition just in getting Seth Leday?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting timing, first of all, just because, being Zach Leday's brother, I think they've probably known about Seth Leday for quite some time. And here we are, probably a couple months into the off season, and now they just decide that, he's a take to add to the team. So, I think that's probably indicative of kind of what happened with their transfer targets and other recruits that they were trying to get in here at the first part of the offseason. But, I think he's a classic Buzz Williams type player. He's undersized, under-recruited, left-handed. If he plays like Zach Leday and plays with the chip on the shoulder that Zach Leday plays with, I think he'll probably be pretty successful. But, I think he's just prototypical Buzz Williams junior college guy that he mold into kind of a scrappy 110% guy.
Yeah, he is a little undersized, about 6'7", 200 pounds, and at least from what I can tell, pretty versatile. But I don't think that front court, it's not that front court answer they were really looking for. And again, it's not official yet, so we'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. There still might be a possibility that he and his brother can play again together this season. Skip, on the football side, not really a ton going on, but we did have some kickoff times announced. The Liberty season opener is going to be 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the ACC Network. We still don't know about the Tennessee game. That will be much closer to the date because the SEC holds the television rights to that game. But the Boston College game will be at 3:30. We already knew really about Notre Dame, but it's come out again that it's going to be a 3:30 kick. Any thought on those kickoff times?
Okay, yeah. No, actually, a lot games at 3:30. Like games at 12, wake up at like 8 o'clock. As soon as you wake up, you got to go eat. Then you on the bus on the way to the game. But at 3:30 is like you wake up at 11. Oh, not 11, maybe like 10 o'clock. Go eat. Drive to the stadium. Then you get ready. So it's like perfect timing. Like games like midday are like perfect because you get to sleep in and you get to sleep in, but it's not like games at like 8 o'clock at night where you wake up at 11, you eat, and you have all day to just sit there and think about what you're about to do. You sit there really just look at film. You watch TV. Some people sleep. Some people just sit there and think about the game all day. And that could suck. So games at 3:30, I think are 3:30, like midday games are perfect because you wake up. You have a little time, maybe like an hour or so to kind of relax. Then you're on the bus on the way to the stadium. So 12 o'clock games are the worst, but 3:30 games are the best. And plus, the games end at a good time. So if you want to do something afterwards, not like an 8 o'clock game where you finish the game and it's like 11, 12 o'clock at night and you can't do nothing. So games at 3:30, you play the game. You want to go get something to eat or whatever after the game. It's still no time for you to do that. So 3:30, I think is perfect timing for football. So
he's talking about the guys that are going to Tots after the game and partying it up.
Well, there are always some good rails waiting at Tots, and I know we have a few of our listeners who are big fans of Tots. So, but that's a good point. The 3:30 time I think does give you time to tailgate. You still get some time after. I know as a journalist, like I want that 12:30 game because then I have at least some time the rest of the day. But 3:30 game is literally all day, and we're done so late. But anyway, from a fan's perspective, 3:30 I know is always good. So at least they get 2 of those games right off the bat.
And plus, if you do like a game like 8 o'clock, most people start tailgating at like 12 o'clock. You go to the game drunk. You know what I'm saying? You better watch. You better focus. You go to the game. You don't know what's going on. You wake up. I forget what happened. 3:30 is like most people started like 11, 12. Then you good. By the time the game started, after the game you do what you do. But 8 o'clock people be going all day, and by the time they get to the game, they be asleep. They barely be walking. So 3:30 is like that right time that people if they drink whatever, if you don't, you get that good time in or whatever. Then you go 3:30, then you have the game. So.
Well, at least they get 2 of those 3:30 games, so that's 5 games set. I mean, you got the 2 7:30 games on Thursday nights, and then 12:30 and 2 3:30 times. So I think a lot will depend on how well they do. I mean, the better you do, the later start time you get, the worse they do, the earlier those times, at least those game times get, and they start showing up on the ACC network. So. But Doug, I do want to get your thoughts. You made a really good post on the board about Bud Foster and the drives he gets that end in 6 plays or less. I guess give me a little breakdown and what do you think of it? I mean, it was a very interesting read, and anyone who hasn't seen it, definitely check out Doug's post.
Yeah, so basically it was I forget the company that did the statistics, but it was on CBS Sports, and it was basically they took the defensive coordinators and ranked them based on the percentage of the drives that ended in 6 plays or less over the last 3 seasons. And Bud Foster was number 7 in the country. I think he was just over 61%. Brent Venables, the Clemson defense coordinator, was the number 1 guy in the country. I think he was over 67%. So, I mean, that's just kind of shows you, I think, despite being kind of a mediocre team over the last 3 years, where they've been fighting to get into a bowl game the last couple of weeks of the season, Bud Foster's still been getting his defense off the field in 6 plays or less. And I think for a Justin Fuente coach team that's going to try and, score as quick as possible and move up and down and run a lot of plays, if you can get the ball back in their hands that quickly, that's going to be huge.
Skip, I mean, you were part of that defense. I mean, is that something that was always preached? I assume it was, as far as getting off the field quick. And are you surprised to hear just how successful Coach Foster has been in getting off the field?
Oh, not at all. I mean, that was the goal. I mean, 3 and out, get off the field. As a defense, you want to get off the field and get the ball back to the offense. So that's our main goal. Stop the opposing team in 3 and out and to get off the field. Especially as a D lineman, those long drives, man, them jokes are something serious, man. It's nothing to play with. You go on like 12 to 15 play drives with no break and no subs, like them things. Like if you aren't in shape, if you aren't in good shape, you're no good. I'm trying to figure out which game it was. Me and my brother was in the game for like a 15 play drive. I mean, we started at like the 20, and we all the way down to the goal line with no sub, and it was just like, whoo. First quarter, like I'm already tired. I got 3 more questions. But yeah, man, that's the goal. Like 3 and out to get off the field. That's the main goal. So, I mean, if we go back to like Coach Foster, e- e- even before I started playing, even before I got to Virginia Tech, I'm sure would have been higher than we are now because we was top, we was top defense in the country for a long time, a couple of years. So if we go back even further than that, I'm sure we're in the top five or top three, or Coach Foster in the top five, top three in that category. Because even I think when I played, we was like number two or number one defense for a while. So if we go back even further, I think we're even higher in that category than we are now. So um, I think that's the goal for our defense.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought, Doug, you made a really good point on offense and kind of just how important that defense is going to be because of what Coach Fuente wants to do in offense and how I think it's even more important because of that offense. So, it's not exactly the same, but I think it's going to be similar, at least comparatively, I guess, to what Oregon was a few years ago and kind of what they wanted to do. And as far as the offense really controlling the game, the defense needs to get off the field quickly to get that offense back on the field and be able to kind of do what they want to do offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I think the ideal scenario, especially if you're running an up-tempo offense, is to score your first possession, get a 3-and-out, and score again, and then all of a sudden it's 14-0. And that's what getting off the field quickly is going to do. And then you got to get offense like Justin Fuentes. I think that's going to be big.
Skip, I do want to ask you, one of the guys you played with on that defense was Kaishawn Jarrett. Story out this week. I know he's hoping to get back still. He has not been in the best shape for the last few months. It was reported by the Washington Post that he might not play again. Really hate to hear that. He had a really good, campaign last season when he did play for the Washington Redskins. Really bright future, it seemed like, and he did well until he got hurt in that season finale, regular season finale against Dallas. Skip, I guess, what are your thoughts on him possibly not being able to play again?
I mean, football is still a sport. It's a game that we love, a game that we want to play, and when we can't, I mean, it's hard for guys who've been playing for a long time, but once again, it's still a sport. It's still something that we do. It's not or shouldn't be who we are. So I know Kashawn, he's a good dude. I know he has something else lined up. If he can't play, I mean, it's gonna hurt, but I know he's gonna be successful doing something else that he does also. And plus, he has. If he can't play, I'm hoping that he does. But if he can't, say he can't, he still has a lot of startup money to be successful in whatever. He got a little time to find out if he don't know what he want to do. He still has a little money to be able to figure out what he's going to do. He has. He got drafted and he played pretty much. Good part of the year, so he has a pretty good. I'm sure that pretty good. If he can't play, he still has some leeway to try to figure out what he has to do. But I mean, people look at it, oh, he can't play football no more. Yeah, but it's still a sport. It's still something we love, but it's not something that controls our life as an athlete, or it shouldn't be. So if this thing happens, I'm sure he has something lined up, or he knows what he wants to do after football. But it's always sad to see a guy who kind of just started off and being successful at what he was doing to have just kind of stop it. But I'm sure he has something lined up and something ready to go if he can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks for him. I mean, he was I forget what round he was picked in, but he was a late round pick, and he's a 6th round pick, and he rookie year, and he comes out and proves himself and gets on the field quite a bit. And then, just one bad injury, and we'll see if he can get back. But, I mean, you think he proved what he could do in one season, so you would have hoped that he could put together a few more good years, or as long as he could have. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate. I mean, you hate to see it when it was a regular season finale against Dallas, and he took that hard hit. And, we'll just have to see what happens. But it's the off season, and I think a few people are kind of bored. There's always talk about realignment. And of course, the Big 12 has been active and stuff coming out on them and possibilities of BYU and Memphis and Cincinnati and Colorado State. Stuart Mandel came out earlier this week, had a plan, 24 teams. Virginia Tech was not in that 24 teams. Andy Staples from Sports Illustrated had his own model, 64 spots among Power 5 teams. They absorbed the Big 12 basically, and he threw in Houston. I don't know what you think, Doug, but what do you think about the models, and are we getting closer to a super conference?
I think the models were a bit extreme. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're gonna see a separation or from the NCAA. I mean, they're gonna figure it out, and the big guys that make all the money are gonna hold all the power, and they'll be happy with that. And I don't think you're gonna limit it to 24 teams. I mean, I think eventually we'll go to 16-team super conferences or whatnot, and those conferences will be aligned. Will be in partnership with each other. I think a SEC ACC partnership makes a lot of sense as far as in terms of increasing the amount of revenue. But I don't think you go to 24 teams and limit anything in that way.
I don't know. It's kind of a, they I don't know. I'm not really sure, honestly. I'm not really a big, fan of all these new conferences or whatever people are talking about. I'm kind of like a guy that's keep it the way it is. Don't just try to change the whole thing. Just kind of, cause most of the time it's all about money. So, if somebody make a change, it's going to what? It's going to benefit people who make a lot of money. Is going, to be happy. So I'm not sure. I'm not really into all that. So, hopefully it just keep it the same and just let people play football. That's the biggest thing. Let the guys play. Whatever conference you're in, just let it ride and just stay what we got.
I mean, to me, I think BYU and Memphis makes sense for the Big 12. I mean, 12 teams makes sense just to get to a conference championship game, and there is more money in an extra game, and obviously publicity and everything else that goes into it. You got a national brand with BYU and FedEx backing of Memphis. Those are large schools, so those moves shouldn't affect Virginia Tech at all. But it is interesting just looking at the super conferences. Stuart Mandel and Andy Staples, I think they had decent thoughts, but I did think they were pretty radical too, very extreme. So, Doug, let's get an update on recruiting. We cover recruiting day in, day out, and Virginia Tech did make 2 top lists in the past week. Travis Etienne, a running back from Louisiana. Evidence Njoku, a wide receiver from New Jersey. I guess kind of some bad news with Kalen LeBourne. He had originally set a date of June 1st. Virginia Tech has been in the running there for quite a bit. It's been basically between Virginia Tech and Florida State, North Carolina, and Tennessee, both kind of hanging in. But with everything going on, I feel like we've kind of gotten some updates here. We've talked kind of regularly, maybe if not weekly. So, Doug, I guess with everything going on, how do you feel like Virginia Tech is faring recruiting-wise right now?
I think it's about what you expect. I mean, LeBourne, I don't think pushing it back is that big a deal. I think that was always a recruitment that was going to go a while, and I think if Virginia Tech goes 10-2 or 11-1 or something like that, I think that's going to significantly improve their chances. And if they go 6-6 or 7-5, they were never going to get them in the first place. So. I don't read too much into that. And the 2 other guys you mentioned, I think that's interesting. The guy from Louisiana, when has Virginia Tech been in the top list for anybody from Louisiana? So it's just kind of another sign of the changes under Justin Fuente that they're, stretching it wide, and they're in the running for somebody in Louisiana, which is brand new.
I like it. I mean, reaching guys that we haven't really went for in the past year, so go out west or go Midwest, whatever the case may be. I think it's good. We see more people reach more people and get different athletes into the school. I think it's pretty good. I like to understand East Coast and you know, Virginia, Florida, you know, if we go out west, it just brings more attention to the school. To get guys from, like, say, California or guys from Alabama, you know, whatever case may be, you know, get guys from different areas like that. I think it'll benefit the school, you know, more than just getting guys from the East Coast. You know,
I mean, you know, they have tried on a few guys from Louisiana. They tried on a few last year, kind of didn't get them. But I know they're trying to get that Michigan connection. They got the one commitment so far in Khalil Pimpleton. Again, not counting Josh Jackson. He was kind of a separate deal, but they're hopefully working on a few of Pimpleton's teammates. Andrew Ward, A.J. Reed, two guys from up there. I know they're giving a few good looks from guys from Oklahoma. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens there. All right, guys, let's get the shout-outs. Doug, you got one coming back from the Caribbean?
Two. Shoot. You can go first.
All right, well, I've got to give my shout-out to the Virginia Tech men's track and field team. Came away with the ACC championship this past weekend, and pretty convincingly in the process. So I know they represented well down at Florida State. You know, even going into that final day, I don't think it was even close. So very impressive showing by them. They definitely get my shout-out this week. All right, Doug, who you got?
All right, my turn.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna shout out Nyquist. He was the winner of the Kentucky Derby a couple weeks ago, and I will be in attendance at the running of the Preakness Stakes this weekend.
Oh, man.
So we'll be trying to see some history. So I'd like for him to.
Next week some more.
Yeah, let's do that next week. But we'll but he's got to win next week so I can say I saw one of the races. The Belmont's the longest, but yeah.
All right, Skip, who gets your shout-out this week?
yeah, shout out to OKC for winning game one. I know they got blew out yesterday, but to get one down there in at home, no, the Warriors' home place is pretty good. So I'm looking forward to see I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the series. But shout out to OKC for getting game one. It's a big move. Yeah, everybody. I knew it. I said it. I tweeted it out. Yeah, OKC winning game one. But yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be a really good series, man. Better than the Cavs and the Raptors. That's gonna be watch. But
Can I throw another shout out?
Man, a double shout-out, Doug. Yeah, that's fine. We got time. Go for it.
I want to give a shout out to Skip's live Periscope Q&A this week. If you guys haven't seen it, go to Skip's Twitter, check it out. He answers a bunch of questions for you.
I will say you better hurry because I think they're only good for like 48 hours or something, though. So you might want to hurry. I hope it's not gone.
Oh, shoot, it might already be gone.
Man.
He'll have to do another one.
Well, Doug, if you're giving a shout-out to the Periscope, I've got to give a shout-out to Skip and his wife for doing the Running Man. I don't know if anybody saw that, but you definitely need to check out his Twitter to see the Skip's rendition of the Running Man.
hey, man, that video was sweet. That video was sweet because me and my wife, we killed that joke. We was getting it. We was getting on that joke. The Periscope, I didn't want to do it. She was like, let's do a Periscope. I was like, no, I don't want to do a Periscope. I'm like, no, I don't want to. So she just put it up, and I was just sitting there like, I had no viewers, no nothing. I'm like, it's pointless.
Well, Skip, you got to save some of that, man. We need you to have you do another Q&A on the site. I hope everybody got a chance to really check Skip out last week. He did the Q&A for us, and I know a few of you took advantage of asking him some questions and getting his expertise. So we are always very appreciative of Skip for doing those Q&As, and we'll definitely have him do another one coming up very soon, maybe later on this summer.
Yeah, man, I got you, man.
Ooh.
Long as I was about to say Doug I'll let it go. It's not good. It's not good.
So we'll have to wait and see if Doug is maybe reporting or giving us a little tidbits on a possible Triple Crown. Another Triple Crown for the second straight year. I hope that'd be pretty sweet to go that long and not have one and then have one 2 years in a row. So, Doug, maybe you'll have some more feedback for us next week. But, guys, that'll do it for this week's podcast. Lots of good stuff we covered, including Skip's dance moves and also his Q&A ability, his Periscope ability. So, very appreciative of everything Skip does for our site, though, and our podcast and everything. So, thank you for checking us out. For Doug Bowman, Derrick Skip Hopkins, I'm Jason Stamm. We will see you guys back here next week.